That's going to be maybe the hardest nut to crack, because people who are privileged and enjoy privilege take it so much for granted that they can't see that there's anything different in life. I remember having a discussion with someone about a group about affirmative action. And I said, let me tell you a story about affirmative action. One of my white parishioners at Calvary graduated from the prestigious New England prep school in 1947. I remember that happened to be the year I was born. And he said when they were seniors, the headmaster brought in to his office about half a dozen boys and announced to them they would be going to Princeton. He had been a Princetonian. He would call the president and say, John, Barry, Larry, Mo, Curly. Would be coming to Princeton. So there was no SATs, there was no ABCs. It was just by fiat, by stroke of pen. I said, I call that affirmative action. I said, the only thing that has changed from affirmative action is a recipient. Because the only recipients of affirmative action to date have been white males, and if you don't believe me, open up a yearbook of any Ivy League college or prep school, and all you see staring back at your white male faces. So I think we have to really get to people to make them understand that they do enjoy privilege. I remember when I was working at the National Church, we had what some people call Racism Day. I said, no, you mean anti-racism day. And we went over to St. Bartholomew's, which is a church not far away, and we had a big one-day retreat. And we were divided into white people and people of color. Originally it was called white people and non-white people, but the non-white people objected to being defined by what they were not. So anyhow, when we decided what we called, we separated, and we had exercises, and we came back at the end of the day and had to make a report. And by and large, the biggest learning was that white people said they took their race as a matter of course, so it was granted, and everything around them, from billboards to commercials to everything, was designed, or at least had the effect of enforcing that identity. People of color were never unaware that people of color, be it something major like buying a house or renting a house or hailing a taxi in New York. I mean, I can tell you taxi stories, but I won't. But I'll tell you this: that if you want to go to St. John the Divine on 10th Street, and you're now 59, one of the things you do is you go to the south side of the street and hail the taxi, so you'll think you're going downtown, and then you can get in with Sean's off the door and then down. But my son went to St. Paul's School in Concord, New Hampshire. And at the beginning of the school year, they would send a list of all the things that were going on that year. So he rode, he was played piano, he sang, he was parent-teachers meetings, whatever. And so Claudette said, make sure you put these dates in your calendar so you'll make sure that you're here for these events. I said, okay, but why is it so important that I come to all these events? She said, if a white woman appears without a husband, they will assume her husband is on a business trip. If a black woman appears without a husband, they'll assume she has no husband. So be there. I've been married 45 years before I said yes, ma'am. So those are some of the things that just that white people don't have to even be concerned about. It doesn't, it's not in the playbook, and when we share these stories and make people realize that some people do have and enjoy privilege by virtue of what they call it. It's beginning to not object to it. That's very helpful. Another time, Linda, I can have a lecture on discrimination issues within and among Black Episcopalians themselves. And the fact is, we did a study when I was at the National Church, and it came up with a startling statistic. And that statistic was that the average Black Episcopalian was a wealthy individual with the average white Episcopalian. It sounds incredible, but it makes sense. It's certainly not true institutionally. White parishes, because they've been established and some endowed and so on, certainly that are all. But the church in general, white church in general, has a big range from very wealthy established parishes to struggling parishes in Appalachia. So the average is lower, whereas the Black Episcopal Church is almost entirely an upper middle class phenomenon. And some people like to keep that way. And I won't even get into what Corwright Davis calls skinocracy, and which basically meant that people of fairer hue were graciously looked upon. So we have a lot of soul church searching to do ourselves. I don't want that to be the last word.
Dr. Lewis, thank you so much for your presentation. And
question, Mother Nita. So I was thinking, wonder if we could, as for kind of bless our food from here, by standing and singing the doxology. And what I thought I'd do is I would stand on the steps and maybe video our singing of the doxology, and I would send that to Bishop Curry with a little, "We miss you, we wish you're here," and look where we are. Are you all okay with that? Because I'm just not sure we'll have everybody back together again quite this way. And I thought it might be nice to at least have a picture and maybe a little video that says that here we raise our voices. Great idea.
So I'll let you lead us in singing. Well, since you're videotaping, maybe I better lead us. Okay, you lead us in singing then. Okay, so we'll sing.
Praise God from whom all